Welcome to SoulGarden podcast from Soulflower, episode 24. We thank you for tuning in to our podcast. Um, it's been a minute, but I'm excited to be here. My name is Nicole. Um, Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel so that not only you have access to when we release new episodes to our podcast, you can also have access to the other things that we are releasing at this time. We are excited because things are moving along nicely, and we will have more material for you to reflect on, for you to utilize, for you to glean from, for your own personal development based upon your free will choice. So, again, this is the Soul Garden Podcast, episode 24. My name is Nicole, and I am a interwork educator and spiritual advisor from Soulflower, a business that is located in Tennessee. So it's nice to meet you, and if you're tuning in to, if you've been tuning in, thank you. We are so grateful for you. And, it means a lot. These podcast episodes are timeless. So, if you're not viewing them when they're first released, then take heart. It's all good. Is, it's just topics about personal development. You can tune in anytime. Really, I think all of them kind of stand alone. So, I mean, if you wanted to not be a part of a topic, then you don't have to be a part of that topic. But, that discussion. But anyway, let's get into our disclaimer so we can get into the material. I don't have a lot of time. I'm still doing Canva, still trying to work out other means of uploading podcasts, which I found some, but I got I got to learn it. So let's get into our episode, and the way that the episodes are set up for those of you that are new. We do our disclaimers, we go into the subject matter at hand, and then at the end we do an energy report and a mastery card pool. All of which you can contact us at www.soulflowerllc.com or soulflowerinc@gmail.com. If you would like some of our sacred services, we would be delighted and honored to assist you in your personal development or spiritual journey. Without further ado, let's get into our disclaimers. My bad, y'all don't have any music today. The way that I set it up is through our TV and our stereo system through that, and I can't find the remote. So you're just gonna have to listen to myself, and you can probably hear the rabbits in the background that we have as pets here. You might hear them scratching around, or you might hear, I don't know, maybe a neighbor or something. I apologize in advance. But let's get into our disclaimers. This is not a formal podcast. This is just a podcast where we're just talking. We are not trying to do the most with this. We're just trying to get this information out to you so that you can utilize it. There's an abundance of other podcasts that are way more professional than we can ever be. This podcast is for adults 18 and over. So if you find this podcast in your minor's, your child's, their timeline, or if you found that they watched it, our name is Bennett and we're not in it, because here's the disclaimer. They have to be 18 in order to have access to this. We actually go take measures to let YouTube know that this is podcast for adults only. So there's it. This presentation is done with Canva Designs. We don't have music today, but when we do, we don't own the rights to it. Because that's what they doing. That's their thing. We're just using it so that it can also assist you and also to promote other good creators out here. A lot of the intellectual material that we have is ours, and a lot of it is not. We'll let you know whose is who. We only market to you on platforms by post and by this podcast. Don't get scammed. It ain't us messaging you. All right, you have to come to us. All presented material is for entertainment, learning purposes, and subjective reflection only. It is of your own free will choice to listen and participate. So if you get mad, all you gotta do, click off and go on with your life. All right, let's get into our subject at hand. I don't have a lot of time. Episode 24 is about the self-betrayal of playing small. I'm sure you've heard this before. And this is something that a lot of what we call the other sheep here at Soulflower, that's what we think that it's one of the biggest hindrances to their success. So we're presenting this material targeting certain groups and certain individuals so that they may heal from their past and the things that they they may be suffering from at this time. If this is an issue that is in your life, you have my compassion. Because it can be a challenge to overcome. So yeah, let's we always talk about what it is, and then we go into the characteristics and the examples. So let's get into that. So, all right, what is playing small? It is acting in ways to avoid conflict, to avoid criticism, and to avoid discomfort by not being yourself, not pursuing your true goals, and not taking risks due to fear, insecurity, and a need for approval or external validation from other people, other groups, your family, your cousins and them, who your homegirls, your boss, all of it. You can, in all of those interpersonal dynamics, you can play small. You can play small with yourself. So, this creates missed opportunities, unfulfillment, settling for less when you deserve it, and or you are capable of. Wait a minute, I fucked it up. Let's go back. This leads to missed opportunities, unfulfillment, settling for less than what you deserve, or you feel like you're capable of being, and it can even lead to misfortune if you're not careful. Characteristics of playing small: making choices out of fear, making choices out of insecurity, making choices to maintain control, making choices to avoid challenges. We call that making excuses. I can't do this shit, I got whatever. Whatever the excuse is. It's in particular challenges that you can overcome. You just have your own reservations about it, and then you make excuses to other people to hide that insecurity. Okay, so that is a characteristic of playing small. This making choices to maintain control. That's a big one too. You Don't say anything to the boss that you know that is on some fuck shit. That's playing small. That's not confronting the issue that's at hand. That's not seeing things for what they are. That is self-betrayal. Okay? Or something happened and you made a mistake. Well, no, that's not it. Something happens where you have an opportunity to grow or be promoted. And you make excuses. Uh, I'm not trying to do that. Or you will even say that's not something that you want to do. You know, I don't fuck with that. That's stupid. That's, you know, we do all of these things when we're playing small. Self abandonment is another characteristic. When we prioritize someone else's needs and comfort, well, let's go back. When we prioritize someone else's needs, comfort, peace, acceptance, validation, approval, so on and so forth, overall. So it's putting other people first. That's playing small. When you know you can get the job done, you know that you can achieve what you see is achievable, but you make excuses because due to these things, comfort. You know, if you, I'll use meditation for an example. Uh, you need to get up, you need to meditate, but it feels so good in bed. But in order to get to the level that you want to get to, you have to have discipline. And those of us that don't like the word discipline or have negative connotations around the word discipline, we make excuses for poor time management and all of it. Procrastination. That's a characteristic of playing small as well. That's self abandonment as well. I'm gonna keep putting it off. Do it tomorrow. Do it tomorrow. Do it tomorrow. Then after a while, then you have years of tomorrows. That's a characteristic of playing small. Let's see. Avoiding risk. Risk. Making excuses as to why you don't take the risk to be who you want to be. You want to be a lawyer? You make excuses why you're not going to school, or why you fail in school, or why you're not doing, why you're not working up to the standard of what is required of lawyers or attorneys. Um, you prioritize excuses over the fact that you are just simply playing small. You avoid taking up space. You avoid speaking up for yourself by setting boundaries. This in particular is something that other sheep can suffer from. Not taking up space because people tell you that you're weird or that, they don't understand you, so they tell other people that you're crazy. uh, you stop, so you be quiet. There's a difference between being silent there's a difference between the silence of empowerment and the silence of playing small. Not speaking up to you for yourself because I'm just too nice of a guy to do that. And meanwhile, you being bullied out the damn, you being bullied, you being manipulated, controlled, being gaslit. But you don't say anything out of fear of conflict. That's playing small. Not taking up for yourself. Not setting boundaries. That's playing small. Playing small to yourself. Self-betrayal. Because you know you need to speak up. But you don't. Out of fear. But you call it love. Especially if it's somebody close to you. It's not love. It's fear. It's a lack of integrity. We have to learn how to stop playing small and start embracing who we really are, so that we can attract the love that we genuinely seek, the belonging, the validation. All right. You play small when you don't want to leave your comfort zone for what you want. You want to work out. That's one of the things I'm struggling with right now. Is working out. Yeah, it's a hit and miss. It's like a car with bad gas. But I'm determined to develop the discipline to do it. So, uh, that's me not wanting to leave my comfort zone. I've worked from home for about 3 years, and it's been nice. But you gotta get up, you gotta move. You gotta do the things that keep you healthy on a physical level, just like you do on a mental, emotional, and spiritual level, if you so describe. Hiding your true self. That's another self-betrayal characteristics from playing small. You suppress your opinions, your feelings, your authentic self to avoid judgment, criticism, and abandonment. Another word for this is called toxic nostalgia, because when you do that, it doesn't go when you excuse it away, it just go to your shadow. That's it. And then it just waits for an opportunity for it to pop out without your awareness. And then there you are, not knowing what the fuck happened. Because your shadow that popped out. It's like skeletons in your closet. And you just add. And eventually, it's going to add up. It's going to come out. And then you'll repeat the cycle of playing small because you blew up. And then somebody's correcting you. And because you didn't set boundaries earlier, in those many opportunities that you could, because you was avoiding conflict, you have to suck it up, and the cycle continues. Settling for less. You with somebody you don't want. Yeah, here you are, because of money, because of what they do for you, because you're older and you just want somebody with you, a companion. All of that's playing small. Go for what you feel you're worthy of, what you feel like you deserve. A lot of this has playing small has roots in your past and your childhood. So that's your working to figure out how that applies to you. Uh, a lot of this stuff is repeating. Seeking external validation, believing that someone else's thoughts, advice, opinions are inherently more valuable than our own. I know that it's not very popular, but you don't you don't need a leader if you're willing to become a leader. You don't need a priest if you're willing to become a priest. You don't need a preacher if you're willing to preach to yourself. You don't need anything outside of yourself if you're willing to look for it internally. And I believe that very strongly. Myself, again, you can click off. You don't have to ascribe to it. There's no judgment here. It just is what it is. There's your work and there's my work. And in my work, that's what I found true to be true for me and a lot of people that I have served. So, there's always room for other perspectives. At the same time, the ones that are standing do have relevance and do matter, especially when they have high levels of truth. All right, here's some more examples of playing small. Not asking for a raise at work, we covered that, to avoid causing a scene, fear of losing your job, fear of being seen as incompetent, because that's one. You don't ask for a job because you're scared You're not once you get the job, you're not going to be able to be confident in it. And fear of conflict, fear of them telling you that hell no, you're not getting this job. Number two, not expressing what I really think in a group session, especially when someone asks my opinion. We like to make excuses and say this is going with the flow, but it's really avoiding conflict and not wanting to rock the boat. It is playing small and it is self-betrayal. A lot of people can benefit from what you say. A lot of people are already thinking what you probably about to say. So go ahead and say it. Let the chips fall where they may. That's integrity. Staying in a bad job because I'm afraid to leave it. When I worked at a plant, a lot of people, they wouldn't leave. They were being mistreated, and they wouldn't leave because the job paid every week. They had responsibilities. Bills don't stop because you got a job or you don't got a job. It's like life. You just keep going. So a lot of them expressed concern and fear of leaving that plant job, even though they're being mistreated. And literally, one of the supervisors believed that we were the property of the company. They were unwilling to leave though because they got paid every week. It was consistent, and it was the devil that they knew. We're not supposed to be siding with the devil that we know. We're supposed to be overcoming the devil, so to speak, symbolically. Let's go. Let's move on. A lack of desire to be better and do better for yourself. We all go through shit, man. We do. We all go through shit. You have my compassion if this feel like a rock to you. This is just exposing what needs to be healed. And if you have a lack of desire to do better or be better for yourself, that is an issue. That is strong self-betrayal. Because we're all born with gifts. We're all born with capabilities. We all have some type of value to add to the lives of others and or this planet. So be mindful of those things if you're giving yourself these excuses where you are end up playing small. Be yourself, no matter what. Take risks. Only do things with integrity and self-awareness. Do this especially when you're uncomfortable. And especially when you don't know what the fuck going on. That's the door to the truth. So be a free spirit. That is especially for our other sheep. To be easygoing, it means that you don't care what other people think because you're too concerned about what the fuck you got going on and minding your own damn business. You know that your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors, and all of that shit matter, and it matters most to you. So just be mindful of that because you're the most important person that you have in your life, and it's time that you recognize that. Now this concludes our podcast because I'm running out of time. I am going to post the energy report, so look out for that. Okay. Until we talk again, which will be here in a minute, you live well, you die free. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all that I'm feeling led to say right now. All right, take care, y'all.